Good morning! Yay! We are on our way to Great Basin National Park. Last night we stayed in Delta, Utah, and after we left Delta, Utah, the road sign said that there are no services in the next 83 miles, which is probably around like 135, 140-ish kilometers. So imagine no services, nothing, just plain fields, and we are going towards the mountains, uh, towards the right side. That's I think where the Great Basin National Park gonna be at. Yeah, today I woke up a little bit later than usual. I was pretty tired. I wanted to wake up at 7. God, oh boy, I was so tired. I just like stayed in the bed until 8:30. And also the room was a bit cold. Whenever it is a little bit cold, I like to just stay cozy inside the blanket. I don't feel like waking up and leaving the bed at all. So that's what happened. But it's okay. It's not bad. As I said today, like the national park that we're gonna make is gonna be a short one. We're not gonna because some parts of it is closed. We're just gonna cruise it, check it around. And today we also have to do a lot of road. Like we have to drive around without inside the drives inside the national park. We have to drive around like 8 hours today to be able to get to cross all the way from the Utah Nevada border, then to Nevada California border to reach Lake Tahoe, so that tomorrow I can just snowboard all day. I don't know whether we'll be able to make it or not. Worst case, we might stay at a place 2 hour or like 1.5 hour from Tahoe, and then drive from there tomorrow morning and start a little bit later our snowboarding session. But let's see how that goes. And interesting things, man. I've been listening to country music on the radio. It feels pretty country to me. Listen, let's see. These kind of vibes, as you can hear. And lots of songs are about whiskey, love, how it feels to be lonely without your loved one, how sad they are. They try to make things work out, try to survive life, but like without the other person that they love, like they cannot keep on living, and they're just gonna drown themselves into whiskey and keep drinking it. Funny things. Interesting how whiskey as a cultural motive in this environment, like the country US aspect of it, how embedded it is. At first, I was thinking like that's pretty weird. Like it's just a drink, and like people talking about this drink all in the songs is a little bit too much. Like, why do you drink whiskey and like drown yourself into sorrow? That you shouldn't be doing that. Like, that's not a good example of how you should strive for your life. Like, this basically is like just alcohol and behavior. This is what happens. Like, when this becomes the norm, and then everybody growing up in these areas that are like focused on like this kind of stuff feels like, oh, I'm sad. Oh, let me just drink whiskey and get better over it. Um, I don't know, man. Like it's felt kind of weird, but then I thought about it from my own culture, like from Turkey. Sometimes, like in songs and things, we also mention are like Turkish liquor called rakı. It's like uzo or arak if you are familiar with those. Like it's an anise flavored hard liquor. You mix up with water, and normally it's transparent, but it becomes white, and you drink it like during meals and things. We also have some songs about like that liquor, about sadness, but not as much as whiskey. Like imagine like most common country song, like there's always gonna be some kind of reference to whiskey. Maybe I'm just stereotyping it too much because I don't speak country that a lot. Just kind of what people imagine, right? Um, yeah, just some thoughts cruising around my brain. Another thing I wanted to mention is like this has similar to this thing, right? Like how when people like get sad, upset, mad, they just like go consume alcohol. Maybe that has been the behavior so far in terms of culturally, that has been what people have been operating on. But I don't like it that in movies that is the first thing they show, right? In movies, in TV series, when people depict people who are sad, who are emotionally in a vulnerable state, they just have this scene where like this person like pours a glass of whiskey or wine or grabs beer or something like that, and they just drink it. Beer is less, more like wine or whiskey or like vodka. I don't know, depends on your culture, but it's weird. I feel like it's weird. Yeah, it's a human tendency to do that, but like I don't think we should just promote that to be this is the way we show like sadness and sorrow. And I mean it's real, yeah, for some people it's real, but it shouldn't be that like every movie, every TV series uses that as a motive to show sadness. You can do better. You can show some character is like sad or mad in a much better way. Like you don't need to make them like drink a glass of whiskey or wine, whatever. And maybe I'm thinking too much about this because I had problems with alcohol in my life before that. Like, yeah, I've had problems with alcohol, like from like early high school till late college, plus even a few years after college. I drank a lot. I drank more than I should have. I fucking love the taste of it. I fucking love the feeling that you get when you drink alcohol. And I would drink a lot in parties, in events. On top of that, I would also drink myself at home. This is something that I acquired more in college itself. Uh, an activity, maybe it was like from my loneliness and just being an immigrant, like trying to adapt to the culture and surviving on my own without any family, without any kind of like just learning how to live the life, and like that became a coping mechanism. But yeah, I love partying. And college in US is like a mini party mode, especially if you live it. You go to a campus university like I did, University of Michigan. There's always a party happening. There's always like an excuse to drink. People and people joke that I'm not until you graduate, you're not an alcoholic, just a college student. But that's to me like a few years after graduating as well. Like whenever the next like the work week would happen, and then it would be intense, like work a lot or like get kind of bored a little bit, wasn't feeling very passionate about the work that I was doing first couple of years in college. And then over the weekend just like go to events, go to parties, just get an excuse to drink and like drink a lot, and then go crazy. And it wasn't good. It wasn't a good cycle, because then your Saturday is fucked up, your Sunday is fucked up. Like you drink like on Friday night or Saturday night, partied a lot, and then you don't actually like do a lot of like physical healthy activities. Your energy level is in the days like very bottom, and especially when it gets to winter, because the sun rise like sets late, you don't have as much daytime, and then because you're already tired, maybe you spend like afternoon like 12, 1 p.m. just still in bed, and then it becomes dark, and the inventory is like such a depressing mode. And then Monday you start working, the same cycle repeats. That was pretty dangerous. Um, as I said, I also did these like sessions where I would grab a few drinks and then listen to music watch music videos. Most of them were like sad, emotional music, and I would have these like fucking sad sessions by myself drinking it. Yeah, that was not good, man. That was not good. I had a lot of problems in drinking, and I tried working on them, and I had been in abstinence for some time. Uh, at some point, I did like 6 months, almost 6 months of like no alcohol. That was good. It improved things a lot, but then I started drinking back again, and then at that point, like the drinking came back to normal levels, and like same things were repeating, and it damaged my personal relationships. It damaged my relationship with my girlfriend at the time, because she was worried of like and if anything bad can put out into me if I was like pretty drunk that night and like tried to do some stupid shit. Like one time, like we were at a party, all like unlimited drinks, and I got very drunk, and I said, oh, I don't like this party as much. I want to go clubbing, and I just went in an Uber to the club. But I was so drunk, like I was like sleeping in the back of the Uber, and like it was a 1 hour Uber ride, like so expensive, and then my girlfriend, my phone battery was like almost about to die, and my girlfriend was like, she was like trying to figure out like what's happening, where I am, because I was at the party with her. She was like, where did he go? What's happening? And then she called it, like she talked to the Uber driver on the phone and said like, please bring him back. And then that night I don't remember that much afterwards. And yeah, she had to take care of me and stuff. Like she was worried about me. Like it was pretty sad, difficult to me. The next day, I felt like pretty ashamed that I didn't want my partner to feel this way, that they were worried about me. And yeah, and I promised myself that I will do a better job at this. I will maintain my relationship with alcohol in a more healthy level. And I did some research into what can I do and things like that. I did attend some like Alcoholics Anonymous meetings online on Zoom, and I saw like how alcohol affected like people's lives in a really bad way. I thought like it was affecting my life a lot, which was true, but then I listened to all these other people's stories. People like getting DUIs, they're not having their driver's license because of that. People like being on house arrest because they did stupid shit when they were drunk. People drinking like like one bottle of vodka, they fucking up like all their healths, having like serious health diseases, and listening to their stories and like how they felt sad, bad, and how they were vulnerable, and like shared these stories, and so that like we support them and they support us, like it empowers each other. I felt like this is definitely something in my life I have to resolve. Like I don't want to go through 20, 30 years of like this very bad life experience as these other more severe alcoholics have gone through. Like I cannot do that. Should not happen in my life. I only get to live once, and I have to get my shit together and find a way to make things happen. And at some point I felt, okay, I will just go fully abstinence as much as possible, and because alcohol in my life is not good, and alcohol without alcohol I can be much happier and better and like more positive and healthier and optimist and all these things. And so past 2 years, starting from 2024 or mid-January until 2025 late November, almost like 2 years, 1 year 10 months, I was fully alcohol sober, and it was amazing. I had a great time. I didn't. I had a great time. For me at that point, like not drinking was not a problem. It was very easy. I would use like non-alcoholic drinks. Like that maybe if I go out with people, drink a mocktail or just like drink a non-alcoholic beer, or just drink Diet Coke, drink a lot of water at parties. Whenever I felt, oh, I'm a little bit nervous, I wanna, relax a bit. Like, oh, let me just drink water, and like in that solo red cup, when people are drinking like liquor or cocktails, they're like red solo cups. I felt, yeah, I felt great. I felt like I was empowered. I was in control. I didn't let the thing that could destroy my life, and I was empowered. I felt pretty good, but it was a difficult process. Like for me, internally, it was easy because I had reached a point in my life where like alcohol was like so bad for me that I didn't even want to look at it in terms of I wanted to do this. I was so away from it. But even though it was like easy for me internally, because it reached that threshold point, like well, you go to a point where like, okay, fuck it, like I have to fully change it. Your mind change switch happens, and then that mental thing helps you go day by day, day by day, day by day. You have the same mental switch. And getting to that switch is like very difficult. So like you can be like, oh, I'm gonna drink a little bit less. I'm gonna monitor a bit more. You can achieve those things, but like at the same time, if you still like to drink, if you still want to be drinking, like it's very difficult. Yeah. Um, Internally, it was easy for me. I felt, but externally, it was a little bit more difficult. Yeah, like for with my ex girlfriend, for example, like she she understood where I was coming from in terms of like not wanting to drink, because she also wanted me to take care of myself, but she thought like this whole fully not drinking was not good, because she wanted me to be able to drink and like enjoy the events and have a good time with her. Sometimes you just want to share some wine with your like loved one and like have crazy great sex, things like that. And for her, it was difficult for her to understand why I drank the way I did. Because for her, it's kind of like she feels that she is able to monitor her drinking level very easily. She doesn't, she knows, but like she doesn't fully get that like it's such a difficult for me to know. Where it's like, oh, why can't you just like drink a little bit and like monitor it? And I understand that. I think that's normal. But then at some point, like whenever she would get a little bit tipsy more than she should be for some time, like she said like stuff like, oh, you're so boring, you don't want to drink, like I thought you were like fun, cool, no, nowadays you're not like that, you're so lame, and like all these like things. And I felt so fucking frustrated, man. It was so fucking frustrating to me. It's like, like that this is such a difficult thing in my life. I'm fighting this challenge, and like I just wish you were a bit more supportive with this. I understand like there are things that you want to get, you won't be able to get because I have this situation, but I want a little bit more support. And also like I was the one who caused you harm, like making you worried about me. Like you don't want to be in that situation, right? For me, it's either zero or one. Like either I make you suffer or I'm great, but you sometimes I don't you don't get to drink with me. But yeah, like that went on for maybe like in 2024. That was a little bit her attitudes in spring and summer and early early autumn, like fall. And that was difficult, right? I didn't like that. I told her like I want you to support me. Like, I don't want you to be saying these things. And normally, like, when she is fully self-conscious, like, not tipsy or anything, she would be fine. But, like, yeah, whenever she went a little bit bored, like, and drank and a little bit too much at the party, she would say the same things. It was difficult. And then, I mean, there were a lot of other things in our life, but like late at the end of 2024, I wanted to break up, but that breakup didn't happen. We said, okay, we'll improve our things and move on and like make things happen. And 2025, I think she also changed her mindset about this, and she was very supportive that I didn't bring it. So I really appreciated that she changed her style, and she understood like where I was coming from, and she understood like this is just a meeting. That, and I think over time she got used to it. I think as she has seen that like I have been drinking for like over a year, I think she's like, yeah, this is good. Like, he has been doing it, and I understand it's good for him. He's having a better life, so I'll support him. So I appreciated that. That's all I had asked him from the beginning. And then I started like drinking back again in November. And some of the reasons why I started drinking was that I kind of wanted to remember what I said, that like I felt like I was more in control, more in power when I was not drinking. But this thing that didn't kill me was not killing me. But at the same time, I felt like I am in power, but like I'm also kind of scared what it would look like if I drink. I felt like I'm still not fully in power. I felt like my goal should be to be able to actually drink and monitor and like enjoy some of like the other aspects of the society that they're going through in a well manner. I think I wanted to be more empowered by being able to control it rather than just staying away from it. And also, I felt like I wanted to, there's some cultural things. Like alcohol is like so embedded in culture. Like you go to different countries, and like different countries have like different drinks, and there are like different vibes, and like sometimes also like just this drinking is a little bit loosens up people a little bit, maybe one or two drinks, and like it makes you feel more social, engage in like interesting things that you normally wouldn't do or maybe afraid to do, but like you would know because you're like more courageous. But like things that are still so socially acceptable, maybe like talk to somebody that you met at the party, talk to them and like be more open and like more engaging. Obviously, if you drink too much, you can do things that socially and ethically not acceptable as well, but not to that level. So I felt like I wanted to open myself up a bit. I wanted to stop restricting myself, and let's see how that goes. So in November, me and my girlfriend, we went to Brazil together. I went with her to Brazil. Because my girlfriend always used to correct me when I use like incorrect English, where I say we went together as two people, even though there doesn't exist a third person. Whereas like I should be saying I went with her, meaning that I me one person and the other person one, and together probably will be two. Now, I'm not sure if you understood that, but I hope you understood that. I'm going to agree to it. Then, November, we went to Brazil. We went like with 60 people, like her MBA friend group from college, like school. Oh man, like also they're like doing full party mode, like every day they're like drinks, and it was an expensive trip. And most of like the drinks and things like were included that specific event. So I felt like, oh yeah, like we're going to Brazil. Brazil has some like different local drinks. I kind of want to be able to try them and like taste them, what it tastes like, more of a culinary experience. I don't want to limit myself. So that's I wanted to open it up the restrictions, and I did, and it worked out fine. Like in Brazil, only 3 days I drank, and 2 of the days I drank just one drink, and like one of the other days I drank 2 drinks, and it was fine. Like you don't know brownouts, no blackouts, like everything was in monitored. Then the drinks were like pretty strong, and at that point, like I hadn't been drinking for like almost 2 years, and like I also felt like, damn, I don't want to be drinking because the taste was like too strong for me. Then I come back to San Francisco, I don't drink, and then next we go to India. In India, everybody is offering me drinks all the time. I mean, and they were not like cultural drinks, right? It's maybe like a whiskey or just a beer, like the Indian beer, like Kingfisher, which is a great beer. I really love Kingfisher. Very smooth, fun beer, basically. And yeah, everybody is like giving me so many drinks, and also there's like some interesting cultural dynamics there, where in India they don't like India is mostly Hindu, and there's some like Muslims, but Muslims are like minority, and I come from a country who has majority Muslim, Turkey, and like Pakistan is the Muslim version of India. I mean, this is a very bad saying, but people like to like complain about it, but they used to be together, like same areas, and then British came and fucked up the land after they colonized that region, and they left it in a very bad state, where like they also divided Pakistan and then India. It was like West Pakistan, East Pakistan, which is Bangladesh now, and India, and like they fucked up a lot of things. Like people lived in that region together. They had like their differences to some level, but they separated it into like Muslim, non-Muslim kind of version, and also in India right now, like the current majority party, governing party in force, is also a little bit conservative, but like they're a Hindu nationalist party, so there's a lot of like anti-Muslim sentiments, and given that Pakistan, the Muslims, versus India, the mostly Hindus, they had a lot of conflict between each other, a lot of what you would say like wars, some terror activities, stuff like that. There's a lot of in India, kind of makes like somebody being Muslim, if it's an Indian who's non-Muslim, there's like a resentment of some sort. It's so for me, I felt like I'm not Muslim I don't believe in specific religions. I had in previous sessions I shared my religion, in the sense that I believe there are some spiritual, powerful, strong forces in this world, that this world is created by them, or I don't know, whatever it is, but this common universal thread, or however you want to call it. And I believe in the like we should be ethical with humans, but I don't believe in the specific religion. And I kind of didn't want to deal with like me being labeled as a Muslim, because like according to them, also Muslims like don't drink and all that stuff, right? But in Turkey, our kind of Muslims are like typically they drink. Like there's maybe they're not the real Muslims, but because Turkey is kind of like split between West and East, like there's like different cultural things, but they like we do drink, but mostly it's a Muslim country. So me not drinking, I didn't want to. When I went to India, I didn't want to like deal with all that thing. I didn't want them to be asking me, our family, uncles, relatives, cousins, oh, why don't you drink? I just didn't want to deal with that, because I don't know. I didn't want them to be thinking, oh, he's a Muslim, he doesn't drink, and all that stuff, association. I was like, fuck it. If they offer me a drink or two, like I'll just drink it. I'll just be fine with it. I don't want to deal with this. And I did enjoy the drinks. Like
one or two drinks. I didn't drink too much. I still like kept it to a good level, like one or two drinks at most. I was mostly empowered. My girlfriend was kind of surprised because like she thought like when I was going to Brazil, it was more about, you know, cultural drinks, whereas in India there was a cultural drink. I had already 2 years ago when I came, I drank the Kingfisher beer. It was not cultural at that point. She was like, "Why are you drinking? Are you drinking because our relationship is not good? Are you sad?" Because our relationship was good bad at that point, and like she was worried I was like drinking because I have sorrow, like I have these sadness feelings. Maybe to some level, that wasn't another reason that I was going through like rough period in my life, and I felt like, oh, like one or two drinks is not gonna hurt, and I don't know. Yeah, it probably does. It has a contribution to it, but I feel like majority of the reason was more because of that whole India Muslim not drinking. Family is always altering me, trying to explain myself that I didn't want to deal with situation. I felt like that was more empowered. But with drinking, like it's kind of like once you drink a little bit, and then it kind of slowly becomes a part of not your daily life, but your weekly life or your social life. You're like, oh, now I'm in control and I can drink, right? Like, why don't I drink? So when I went back to San Francisco after the India trip, also I before India I was visiting Turkey, and I drank with my brother just because I felt like for special days, special family time, you know, like he likes to drink rakı, the Turkish liquor. I want to be okay with like drinking it, and I drank that one as well, like one unit. Very simple. It was pretty strong. I didn't want to drink too much. And I came back to San Francisco, and I felt like, oh, okay, now socially drinking has become okay for me. But what is the level? I want to preserve this in my regular day-to-day life, because previously we were traveling, right? And yeah, I can just say like make up a rule, say that, oh, when you're traveling you drink. In your regular daily life you don't. And I said, okay, let's just drink special days. And I hosted a New Year's Eve party. And New Year's Eve party, I felt like, oh, like I'm hosting, everybody's coming. It's a special event. Okay, let me drink. I drank a few beers, the hard liquor, like seltzers. I didn't enjoy that much. They felt like too strong. A few beers I drank, which was wine. I felt pretty good. The next day, I didn't feel bad or anything. My energy levels were good. And after New Year's, the next day we also went to a DJ concert, John Summit in Pier 80 in San Francisco with some of the friends from the New Year's Eve party. And then there I was like, okay, yesterday I drank, but today I don't want to drink, so I have to take control. In the next couple of weeks, we went to a few like different events with some friends, and like there I was also thinking, because my friends like would like when we were having dinner, they would like want to drink wine and stuff, and I was like, okay, if I could, like I'll just join them and like drink wine, and then I was able to monitor well. So far, I think I've been able to have a decent relationship with alcohol, but given my previous history, it's kind of frightening to some level. I just don't want it to be, you know, slip and like it wanting me to, like it going back to the same old days. I'm worried of that happening. I think that's a natural worry, natural tendency to think about it that way, because, you know, you've seen it before. It's like there's always the thing in your back of your brain, like you don't want them to go to the same thing, because, you know, slippery slope, right? Like it's easy to go over a threshold where like it becomes the same again. But I feel like I want to not have that as much in my brain, and I want to be able to monitor this and like have a healthy relationship with alcohol. I will strive for that. One of the days where I felt maybe I did drink a little bit more than I should have. Was a day where on a Friday night, like I went out with my coworkers, then we went to $1 Marks, and then the drinks kept coming like with my friends, and I got a little bit tipsy, and it was the most tipsy I got in a while. I was like, okay, yeah, like this is probably like, it's probably the line. I shouldn't be drinking more than this level, because I feel like if I drink more than this level, a few more drinks, and then okay, now I'm gonna go back into the same old patterns and like just be in a fucking mode. Oh, we already drinking, let's just enjoy the rest of our night. And I was like, okay, let's chill down a little bit. And instead of like getting another margarita, I was like, okay, if you guys want to drink, I'm happy to get one more, but like I'm not gonna get a margarita. I wanna slow down a bit and like drink a beer. So I think that was a little bit kind of scary at that point. I felt like shit, like, oh, what if this goes back to the old ways? But still, I was able to slow down. But I don't know like how it's gonna work out if we go out with like friends every weekend. On a Friday we drink, and sometimes, you know, like there's parties and things, but there's more opportunity to drink, and like people want to have fun and like go wild. I don't know, it's gonna be difficult thing to challenge, but I believe in myself. I feel like I'm strong enough, and I think almost 2 years of abstinence made me realize how important it is for me to keep this healthy lifestyle and like preserve my relationship today with like alcohol and not become its slave and be its victim. So I'll do my best, and I believe in myself. I think I will make it happen. To me. Yeah, and that day after the Marks also, normally I was gonna go back home and just chill, relax, but my housemate said he's going to a party. And I was like, okay, I guess I'll come. And then at the party, like they were making cocktails. I got one, but like I wasn't really excited to drinking it, so I was like drinking it a little bit slower. And then luckily a girl in the party, I had dropped my cocktail somewhere, and then she grabbed it thinking that it was hers, and she started drinking, and I was like, oh great, I'm so glad I don't have to drink this out, because it was already hard, and I was a little bit worried that day. So she helped me out drink it, and I drank a seltzer or something like that, or a beer instead of that, which was like much lower alcohol, and I could monitor myself down. And then we went clubbing afterward, and in the clubbing, like when we went to clubbing, like every day we were getting a drink as well. I got one drink, like one unit was fine as well. That didn't go too much, but that whole day, like because we drank the $1 Marks, got a little bit tipsy, then like went on to a pre-game and a club, and then the drinks kept coming. That was like why I felt like shit, like I have to be a little bit more careful. And also that day, because like I slept pretty late, 4 a.m., because even after the club, there was a post game at some friends, people's house. And at that point, I kind of wanted to just do like different exciting, cool stuff like this, like socially engaged, because I had gone through a breakup in the past couple of weeks, and I kind of wanted like distractions. I didn't want to be like, oh, it's already 2 a.m., it's already late, let me go home. It was a Friday. I think it was a Friday, yeah. I just stayed up like up 4. That made me feel a little bit tired the next day, and because we drank a little bit more than we should maybe on a regular basis, I felt like, oh, I was a little bit tired next day. I went on a hike at 8 a.m. the next day. Also, maybe that's another thing. But overall, I felt like, oh yeah, I don't want to go too much. I don't want to go have it like to a crazy level where like again it affects my fitness, it affects my healthy lifestyles, and it affects my next couple of days. I don't want it to be that case, and I'll do my best to not let it affect my life like that. And I want to be in control and power. But yeah, also, I mean, another thing to say is that like I said I had like abstinence for almost 2 years, but that is just alcohol. I had been like, using weed because it's legal in US and California, and other states, some other states. I've been using that from time to time. But for me, like weed wasn't, I have never not been as into weed as I am into alcohol. So it felt like in the time I was going in abstinence of alcohol, it felt like it kind of helped me, make the process easier. Where sometimes I would use weed instead of alcohol because I felt like for me, weed is like not something I want to use every day because it dumbs me too much. It makes me feel too conscious, and it makes me, it gets me. It can get you into anxiety mode sometimes. It's not something I am very excited to be doing. Whereas like alcohol is more exciting, interesting to me, where I feel like it's more of a danger. So with weed, I don't feel as much of a danger. And I've been able to monitor my weed usage better than my regular alcohol. So for me, even though I was alcohol abstinence, I was using weed, then maybe that's not a great thing. Maybe like you should be completely off any kind of like such substances and live the healthiest life as possible. But I don't know. I think it's pretty difficult, right? Like people just need some loosening things, and like they want like some enjoyable things outside of their regular life. Yeah, I mean, you do sports, you work out, like that also gets you the dopamine hit, or you do other kinds of things. But yeah, some kind of like these substance uses is like, I don't know. I feel like to some level it's humanly. I feel if you look at it like historically, all the traditions of like cultures and things, like some kind of substances have always been there. When you look at like alcohol, weed, ayahuasca, mushrooms, all these kind of things, like things that get you into altered states, I think it's a part of like the human experience. I feel like they're also in the nature, right? I feel like they're in the nature for a reason. Maybe not necessarily that they are great, maybe they're actually toxic and maybe you shouldn't be using them, but like there has been like good usages of them at some point, like especially with like beer and alcohol. It has been that back in the day water was not like clean and clear, but like if you made it alcohol, it protected you like it from bacteria, germs and everything, so you wouldn't get sick. And if you drank like bacteria water and all that stuff, you would get sick. So there has been some reasons why it has been in our cultures, and like yeah. So I don't feel extremely negative about them. I just want to be able to control my intake of them and like enjoy my life. And on this road trip as well, I was pretty happy because like on this road trip, one of the things I was worried is that, like you're just gonna be by yourself, you're gonna be lonely, and you're gonna be wanting to drink. Because in my previous road trip where like I did 30 days, I was drinking some of the nights after everything was done. I checked into my hotel, I would get like some beer from the gas station and like drink it. Whereas in this one, I felt like, okay, I don't want to drink during this road trip unless I feel I want to enjoy it. I don't want it to be the case where like, I'm lonely by myself, I don't know what to do, and I'm just gonna be drinking. And so far, I didn't drink except yesterday. Yesterday after the mountain snowboarding, like a really good session, I wanted to get food, and like there it's like a nice burger bar. And it's a typical common thing, like in mountain vibes, like there's always like this thing in people as well, like, you just like snowboard, ski, and then at the end of the day you just drink like one nice beer. Or or wine, like whatever. It's just like the whole mountain vibe. So I felt like I wanted to enjoy that, and it was good. I was fine. And also the beer I got was a hazy IPA. I really used to like hazy IPAs before, back in it before my absence, but now I'm like, bro, this is like fucking juice. I don't want to be drinking this. I understood why I like drinking it, because it's like a juice. You can just keep drinking it easily because it's so sweet and stuff. So I feel like I'm just gonna go back to more traditional kind of non-hazy IPA, more traditional beers if I'm drinking beer. True. Or like a good Guinness, good luck. But yeah, I was able to do things well and keep myself in control. And as I'm more of a single guy now and gonna be going into more, and now that I also am okay with drinking, I'm gonna be going into more social scenes where drinks are involved, maybe going on dates and drinking, or maybe going to clubs with friends or bars and like drinking and things like that. I just want to be in power and in control. And I had set some rules for myself. The rules are more so that, like, oh yeah, if you're at home and just by yourself, like, don't drink. If you're really bored, don't drink. Because boredom is kind of like, oh, you feel bored and like you're like, oh, let me drink and like enjoy myself, watch some TV. Don't do that. And if for soft drinks, like 1 unit per hour at most. If I'm drinking beer, like 1 beer every hour at most. And if I'm drinking it like harder liquor, like 1 unit every 2 hours. Those are my rules. Hoping I will achieve those rules and keep myself in check. And I don't know, man, I really enjoy my healthy weekends, healthy weekdays. I want to be in power, and I also am not gonna be buying more weed anymore. I have been addicted to it. Like, my usage has been infrequent, but I will do this. I won't buy alcohol to my house. I won't buy weed to my house. But if other people offer me weed, edibles and things, like, depends on the timing, I can do them, but I don't want to have them in my house. And I think that will mostly help me control the levels better. Yeah. It's difficult, but I think I'll make it. I believe in myself. I am the one in power and control. I know this has been a pretty long conversation, but yeah, these are some things that I've only shared with very insignificant people in my life. And I will post these videos maybe somewhere that's online accessible. So some other people are gonna be seeing it, and I think it's fine. I'm okay with it. I feel okay. Like, I don't feel ashamed of things, but I'm a better human being. I'm working on things, and it's difficult to accept your vulnerabilities and share them with other people. But I think that's also another step. Have to get better, like, you shouldn't be in isolation. You shouldn't carry this all weight by yourself. Like, that's what I learned, like, especially with that Alcoholics Anonymous meetings. I felt like, yeah, people sharing with each other and people supporting each other made it much easier for me. That's why, like, in those things, they also have a buddy. Like, whenever you get assigned a buddy, and like whenever you feel like you want to drink, or like like things come back to it, you can just like call your buddy and like explain and like go through the process and tell, like, hey, I need your help. Like, I feel like I want to drink, but I don't want to drink. Like, can you distract me for some time, or support me? Things like that. I think it's very important. Like, all these problems in life, it's very easy to go into your shell, not share them with people, keep them to yourself because, like, they're difficult and you don't want to reveal everything. But I think with the people that you trust, you should share with them and like be open and vulnerable, because I think you'll get a lot of support. And even with my breakup with my girlfriend, for some time until the breakup, I I I told some of my friends about like the situations and difficult things and things that made me unhappy and sad. But I didn't explain everything to my friends. But now after we broke up, about when people ask, like I share, and like I've gotten a lot of support, a lot of help, and even from my friends who I met through her, I still got a lot of support, and I see them all as friends, and I appreciated that they reached out and like supported. It it means a lot. I think, yeah, that's how we should be. Just reflect a lot internally, have the courage to share with your trusted people, get their support when needed, be okay, accept help. Yeah, I think that's been difficult, accepting help, because I grew up in a mindset where, like, especially I feel for my father, like, you know, you just gotta do what you gotta do. But I didn't want a lot of help from other people. I wanted to be able to do things on my own, but I realized over time that, like, I'm just a mere human being, and I won't be perfect in everything, and I cannot achieve everything by myself. And sometimes I will need people's help, and it's okay. It's okay to ask for them. Yeah. Whew. That was a long session, I know. And we have a lot of long rides, long roads that we have to go through today. I think, given that we are going to be driving for 8 hours, we're going to be talking a lot about like different things in my life. I'm happy that we got that business case out about substances and alcohol. Thank you for listening. And as you can see, we're getting into a very flat area in a bit. And after that flat area, we see like mountains. It's a pretty fucking cool view. It's like you have like these plain fields, more desert-like structures, and then you have like mountains with like snow on top of them. Like, I'll show you around. Like, look at this. This is like nuts. Go. Yeah, let's turn on our country music. If it's working, let's get it. Yeah, the channel that we had was not working. Okay, yeah, you're in such a remote place. You cannot find it.
I guess
At that.
no other country would let us go through. Well, Prime Minister of Pakistan is about to be overthrown by one friends in Washington.
I have no idea what is this. Let me see. Yeah, these are the views in the basic. Okay, I'll see you soon again. If I'm recording, probably at the national park, and after the national park on the road. Bye. Yeah. Maybe. So we are now going into the Great Basin National Park. As you can see, the main attractions are like these peaks there, but the scenic driveway is closed for the winter, and the lemon caves are also closed for renovation restoration. So we actually are not gonna have as much to do out here. I mean, there are some trails that are pretty long, like the scenic driveway to the peak is closed, but you can still go up to peak if you want to hike. But it's a pretty long hike and steep, 2,200 feet, and you have to. It's like 8 mile. It's pretty significant. We're not gonna do that today. As I said, like, this is kind of like a national park to pass by through for us to get an understanding how it looks like, and maybe consider in future we can come back again. Still visiting it, it still counts. Like you see the beautiful mountains over there. Like it's really really nice. It also has the snow. It's pretty happy to see snow. I mean, I love snow when it's not on the road and making it difficult for me to access things. Other than that, I'd love to be seeing snow on mountains. Who wouldn't like that? That's supposed to be. Yeah. We'll keep you updated. And we're gonna maybe do like some short walks and like check out like the campgrounds and things like that while we're here. Yeah, this is it in Great Basin National Park. We are at Baker Creek area. If you see how pretty it is, so pretty. You got like these nice trees, snow on the road. I'm very happy today. I wear my thick socks that I use for my snowboarding sessions because today I'm gonna be more in snow than yesterday, to be honest. Probably it's because like yesterday it snowed. It feels like pretty fresh, and even if it's not because of yesterday snow, I like it. It's a cool vibe. It's not actually a trail. This is more of a, normally you can like drive on here, but for winter it is closed, the road. That's why we are walking it up top. Oh, definitely my feet are gonna be so wet, but that's okay. And these are my last clean socks. I need to either clean my existing socks or wash them. It's actually pretty nice. Like, look at this view. So pretty. And I like that there's also snow on the ground. It makes it look more cool, more fun. Gonna take a nice picture here. See how I'm taking the picture. Not sure if you can see it. Oh, beautiful. This park is also known for its Bristol confines, similar to the Bryce Canyon, where we had the Bristol confines. This park also has them. Yay! Some opening where I don't need to get my feet wet. Also, I look at the shoes that I'm using. I'm using Bales. Definitely not the best hiking shoes out there. I'm a little bit sanded person. At the moment I don't have like proper hiking shoes. I should invest in them, get myself nice hiking shoes. Yeah, but I mean, so far they have survived and they're pretty comfortable. They're pretty big for me, so my feet doesn't get hurt. I mean, I've been hiking a lot past week in many different national parks. They held themselves. Definitely, if I had better hiking shoes, I could have been more efficient and like my feet would have been feeling better. But I mean, so far I didn't have any significant problems, so I think all good. But if you're ever going on national park trip and you're gonna be hiking, get yourself some proper hiking shoes, man. Don't be me. You don't want to be me.
It's a really nice stroll that we are doing. I like it. You get good views of the mountains. At this point, in the past 1 week, we've seen a lot of different terrains. We've seen lots of different rock formations, lots of different trees, lots of desert, lots of shrubs. Has been a crazy diverse trip in just a week. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. Oh, that little cabin thing looks so nice. It even has heating furnace thing you see on top of it. I wonder what it is for. Who uses it? Is it the restroom? What is it? Doesn't say what it is, interestingly. Nice little picnic area. Yeah, look at these. The pines. Pine cone. Very cool. Look at this shape. And what is that? I'm not sure if you guys can see it, but like, it's as if like cones themselves. Or like they're like berry or like cone. I don't know what they are. Very, very cool. It's not crazy cold, but it's a little bit chilly. Right now it's probably like 40 Fahrenheit. 3-4 Celsius. I'm with 2 layers, a hoodie and t-shirt underneath, and my cool canvas pants. Not canvas, maybe. I don't know the exact naming of this, but it's nice. These are supposed to be business pants that I'm using in hiking. They're pretty comfortable. Not gonna lie. Probably not the best thing if it gets wet, but I don't think we'll get it wet today. Hopefully, just the feet will get wet. Oh man, it is lovely out here. You see some human presence. Big shoes, actually. Oh, someone who has a big feet. Could this be the Bigfoot in Saskatchewan? No, it's not gonna be that. Yeah. Whew. Nice little vibe of a stroll, picnic area. Okay, from here on, as you can see, this becomes a proper trail. To Baker Creek campground. We're not gonna do that. This is good for today. We're gonna do look at some other parts of the national park as well, towards the Wheeler Peak Scenic Drive. As I said, that Scenic Drive is also closed for winter, but we're gonna do some little strolling there as well, visit the campground. This is nice, really, really nice. beautiful landscape. I fucking love mountains, man. Overall, I like nature, but mountains are just the green, the blue, the white all together, just very full of life. It makes you feel life, you know, very vibrant. Okay, I'll stop recording. Gotta preserve battery for other spots. And as you can see, below the mountains you have the valley, open flat. This is Nevada, baby. It's not only Vegas, we have other things in Nevada. Yeah, it's really nice. A lot of you would assume Nevada is just the desert, right? But no, you have like these kind of other landscapes as well. Be nice. Alright, see you soon. Hi, we're at the upper Lemon Creek campground. If you see it there, there's a peak. It's called Wheeler Peak. And we're gonna go to Lemon Creek Trailhead's starting point. You can take that trail and go all the way up to the peak. And on your way to the peak, you can like visit like different lakes. It must be a really nice, fun trail to do, but it's definitely a difficult one. So you see here, we are here. You can take this Lemon Creek trail, come to Wheeler Peak campground. This road right now is closed due to winter. So normally you can do the scenic drive and then go to the peak itself and like view it. Or you can do the Lemon Creek trailhead. If you see, one way is 3.4 miles. Elevation rise from 750 to 9820. It's more than 2,000 feet, which is around, if you do the math, 630 meter. It's quite a lot. It's pretty steep. And from Wheeler Peak, there are also other trails that go into the lakes and around the peak over there. Must be a fun trail. Maybe another time in my life, if I come back here, we can do this if we have a full day. But for now, we're just checking out some portions of it. And right now, as you can see, it also started to snow a little bit. So that is very, very sweet, really nice. I'm only gonna go on this road, like trail, for 5 minutes or so, just for the kicks of it, and maybe you'll get to see the Lemon Creek as well. Yeah, oh wow. Gorgeous views, gorgeous views. Look at this. I might be the only person in this area right now. I have not seen any other cars. Not many people want to hike this trail on a Wednesday in the winter season when it's slightly snowing as well. I guess, yeah, well, not everybody is lucky to have as free time as me, or is willing to go through this adventure for fun. As you can see, snow is increasing a little bit. Still pretty nice, pretty tame, pretty controlled. I like this. Really, really nice vibes. We started from the desert, hottest place in the earth, in Death Valley National Park. Now we're on this mountains area. Still funny. Let's see, and it's snowing and it's cold. Let's see if we can okay, this trail only gets very close to the creek after a significant distance that I'm probably not gonna do. So let's go for sometimes when if distance doesn't work out, you don't know how far you want to go, you can do time. Right now it's 12:16. I'll go another 4 minutes and then start returning back after 12:20. That's what I'll do. Fun. Also beautiful cones. Now I'll tell you the story where one time I went to Colorado with my back then housemate in college, and one of my best friends, Subhojit. We went for Thanksgiving. Because we don't have family in the US, we didn't know what to do or whose program to join. Sometimes people get invited to American families' Thanksgiving events. I did one time with Marisol Fernandez's family, great family. They had me over in New York for Thanksgiving once. That was very lovely, beautiful food, great people, great vibes. I love them. Their family is amazing. Always, I look up to them to raise a family like them myself as well. Their kids are brilliant, extremely social, and know to fight for the good causes in this life. Oh. We heard something in this area. I wasn't sure what it was. Maybe it was just snow cracking, but just want to be sure. Yeah, I like Marisol's family. They're great. Coming back to with Subhojit, we went to Thanksgiving to Colorado. We went to Rocky Mountain National Park. Oh boy, it was pretty snowy and icy out there when we did the Emerald Lake Trail. It's I think maybe 3-4 mile trail. You go a lot of steep. You see, that's an animal. I don't know what it is. Looks more like I'm making it up, but maybe deer, elk, something like that. Hopefully not a mountain lion. But yeah, we did go to Rocky Mountain National Park, and it was like this kind of vibe. Right now it's a little bit more snowy. At that point, that one had more icy grounds. And dude, Subhojit's shoes were they were so slippery. He didn't have any traction at all. When we went up, he was having it difficult. But we went up, so the lake was beautiful. You could walk on the lake because it was frozen. Very, very beautiful. And after that, when we were going down, Subhojit fell like 20 times. I'm not exaggerating. He just slipped going down in the ice, fell, slipped, going down, fell. His butt was so wet at the end of the trip. And he was like, fuck you, dude. You didn't tell me what kind of a hike this was gonna be. You didn't tell me in advance. Because it was also a spontaneous trip. And I was kind of getting into national parks. That earlier on, I hadn't done my big road trip across the US. So I didn't plan it that well. And he was complaining so much. It was too funny to see that. I mean, he survived. And he learned his lesson to have good traction. And must have good hiking shoes, I guess, if he's going into national parks. So I think after that experience, anytime we're going to a national park or like nature area, he always asks, okay, so what is the plan? Tell me. I got a plan. I gotta make sure I'm all set up for it. It's too funny. But yeah, that was an adventure. And yeah, we walk a little bit more, one more minute than we wanted. Let's see how close we are to the creek. Still not that close. I don't even want to get to see it, so I'll just start heading back. It was a fun, nice trail, and it snowing a little bit with this great view was a nice cherry on top. I'll see you guys soon on the road back to California.
Hi friends, I am sorry that the sun is so bright right now. We're heading towards west and it's probably like a few hours before the sunset. The sun is so powerful here right now. It's 50 Fahrenheit. Pretty warm out there. It's not crazy warm, but like warm enough for winter for us. We had been on Highway 50 for quite some time. It says Great Basin National Park. We went through July, and then one more highway I forgot, like one more town I forgot its name. And we're heading towards, I believe, Bostonville. So apparently this highway was dubbed as the by Life magazine as the loneliest road in the US, and now they use it as a motto, like as a touristy thing. And they sell like the merch, the T-shirt, and all that stuff for the loneliest road in the US. And now, like actually, there's like it's not that it's a boring road. It's actually has like pretty nice like natural environments. Like on the left, I think I get to see like like beautiful mountains. We have like deserts. Most of the road is on the desert, but like on the left, on the right, sometimes like we go past like through mountain areas. Like you see also like the snow on those mountain areas. I would say it's a pretty cool road. I'm very happy I'm driving it on it. Oh, the other town was Eureka. Yeah, like so Eli, Eureka, and now we're heading towards Austin. And this, as I'm saying, like it's a pretty fun road. Like the reason why it's loneliest is that the distance between the towns on this road is pretty far. So it's around like 70, 80 miles between each town, and that's across 300, 400, 350 miles. So for that long, you have like these 4 or 5 towns that are like super separated from each other, 75 miles. So you just have to know that like, okay, I want to have a full gas tank before I start going on this road. And in the middle, I want to make sure that, like if I'm running a little bit lower in gas, that I'm not going to be able to make it all the way. Like I want to get the gas because the next town is pretty far away. So you have to adjust according to that. I'm pretty used to that setting because when I was doing that big road trip I did, I was in West Texas, and West Texas also had a pretty similar setup. I was like so remote, so each town was 50, 60 miles from each other. There, it was not like a single line of road. It was a little bit different, but still like similar vibes. Pretty interesting. It's just nothing that's. And there are some other cars passing by on the other side. They were all like trucks with some kind of a flag on the cars that I'm not sure, but like it feels to me maybe they're like a mining company's trucks, or there's like some kind of like company that owns these trucks, because they have been coming like across me like for like 10, 20 different trucks, all the same model truck with the same flags. And that flag is also not something that's like very remarkable, but you don't understand what it is. Like it's not a Confederate flag, I know that for sure. Because when I was doing that big road trip in Alabama, around there, I saw lots of Confederate flags in the South, but it was not like that. So there's something pretty different. I don't know what it is. I'm very curious. I actually went into a supermarket in Eureka and got myself some coffee, some toothpaste. with my two pieces of it. But yeah, I enjoyed this drive so far. Also, Great Basin. We could do a deeper on it. I like Great Basin National Park. The peak looked beautiful with the snow on top of it. I wish it was more accessible, even in winter, where I could go up to the peak and drive up there. But still, it was really nice doing the little short trails that I did. Really low in intensity for me compared to the previous ones that we did. Previous parks, we would spend all day in the park, but this one we just spent maybe like 2.5 hours at most, and went on to the Woodland spots. And I also stopped at Eli, had food at the Mexican restaurant. I had some fajitas. I liked it. It was pretty good. Fried beans, rice, delicious stuff. And I asked the person working there, hey, what's your favorite? They said fajitas mix. So it was chicken, beef, shrimp, fajita. Was pretty solid. A few days ago, I also, before like Park City, the night when we arrived to Springville, Roma areas, I also had fajita at the restaurant. That one was better than this one, but this one felt like more authentic. The other one was better because the other one I added so much oil on it, and the oil made it much like delicious. But this one was healthier and this one felt more legit authentic. The other one was more American style fajita. This one was like the legit Mexican thing. Yeah, this is today is a lot of road, a lot of driving, but it is better than our first day of the trip where we were driving from Santa Clara's Bay Area into the Death Valley National Park. I mean, the first, maybe like the last couple hours of that drive was also fun because you would go around like interesting dots. You had to cross the forest to reach the desert. But before that, all that happened for like 4 or 5 hours, we were just on the main highway, boring whole highway between like San Francisco and Los Angeles. That is mostly a boring highway. Only if you're going from San Francisco to Los Angeles, only the last couple hours where you go through like the mountain areas before reaching Los Angeles, those are like pretty fun. Other than that, it's like pretty straightforward drive. I'm not a big fan. Get this much more beautiful. Better like all these mountains, like with snow, just wanna do like full play desert vibes. It's sick, man. I really love this. And I've been testing my car a lot on this road. My car has been good. It's been operating well. It is a BMW for sure. I can tell you that. Sure. I like this car. I used to like my previous car too. I had the Chevrolet Malibu 2009. That was a okay car, decent car, because it was my first car. So obviously, each of your cars you like them, but that car was my first, so it meant a little bit different. But this car, I feel like this car is a beast. Its engine is beautiful. Like it just feels like so much power. Like when you're riding this car, it's smooth. Like you don't feel any inertia, anything at all. It's just very smooth. The only problem with it is that it's like very close to the ground, very low. For other than that, very beautiful car. I was actually not thinking of getting this car. I was looking for an Audi A4, and then I went to the shop. I found an online ad that said, "Hey, this price for Audi A4, like this used model, this price." I was gonna buy that one, and when I went there, the shop owner told me, "Hey, you know what? We actually sold that car. So that car is not available." Like, I was like, "What do you mean?"
It was the ad. I came for that. It was like, no, it's so I'm sorry, but no, it's similar kind of ranges, similar kind of style. There's this BMW like 2011 328 XI. Would you be interested in it? I was like, let me see. I wasn't thinking of this, but and then I like the color from outside. Outside color isn't always like this car is like a beautiful BMW blue, kind of like darkish blue. I really like its color too. But the like front of the car is not like as sexy as like some other cars. It's okay. It works, but like it's not as sexy. It looks a little bit more older and sturdy. Then I was like, maybe I'm not gonna get it. Doesn't look that cool. Looks fine, but like there are other better cars that looks better. And then I got it. And he's like, test it, right? I drove it a little bit on the highway, and I was like, wow. I want this. I'm getting it. And I got it. Best, like, great decision. Not best decision, but great decision. Really great car. I'm very happy. It had some issues, like they fixed like some of like regular maintenance things. We had the muffler issue. At some point when I was like driving from New York back to Boston, the car's muffler broke or some shit up, and then like there was an exhaust muffler, I think, and then a lot of noise started coming from the car. I was like, what the fuck? Is it the engine? What's happening? Like, is the car gonna break down? I was very scared because I had just started my drive like from my friend's place back to Boston and New York, and I was like, no, this doesn't sound right. I'm not gonna be able to take this car because once you did above like 450, it's created such a bad like high volume like noise that I couldn't deal with it. I couldn't drive it like for another 4 hour or once. So I stopped at the hotel in New York, around like Flushing area. Then the next day I went to the shop. It was a Chinese owned like shop. I asked him what's the problem. So he said like, oh, we have to actually weld it. I know that there was some stuff. It might take some time, but trust us, like I'll actually make it work, and you're not gonna need to do any work on it anymore. I said, okay, I trust you. I generally trust like car people. I don't understand from cars. I collect all the parts that much. I do my search online whenever there's like a problem that I'm experiencing. I try to learn, but it's kind of like I see this as like like when you go to a doctor. You should trust your doctor. Like they are the experts. They are the professionals. I feel the same way. For like car mechanics, yeah, you can say that though sometimes they try to scam you or they do more work than they should do, but like I think you kind of understand like that from the feeling that the person gives to you when they talk to you. You could, unless they're like an extremely great conman, at that point you're doomed. Like at that point you're fucked anyways. But yeah, like look at this beautiful view, like the sun is hitting all these like areas as it's getting close to the sunset. Very gorgeous. But yeah, that was the issue that we had. Like the guy fixed it very well. Like that car was in great shape. Then I drove back to New York. A few other things that happened in the last 3 years that we did. Nothing broke, nothing break. Only like we had to change the regular maintenance parts, and we also changed the brakes, the front brakes. We got recently changed a month ago, and then the rear brakes got changed like last year when I moved to California. And yeah, I mean the BMW parts and all that stuff costs significant. It's not like a cheap car to maintain, but it has been so far pretty reliable. Another issue I had was with my electrical components. I was using charging from like the car. It's like those cigarette lighter electric area where you plug it in, and then you can get like USB cables coming out of it, because this is an old car. Like that's how you get the energy in this car. When I was using that with some phone and like laptop charger and things, I realized that like the car had this problem where it was some of the components in the car, called especially car access module, was getting, for some reason, like it was overheating when the weather is hot, and also when like we're using those like charging things, it overheats and the car just doesn't start. Like you can get in the car, electricity is working. It's not that this the battery of the car has a problem, but like it won't just start, because it will think that like, oh, you don't have the access, you don't have the permissions to access the car and like start it, because the car access module was not working correctly because of the electrical overheat or electrical components getting messed, something like that. Initially, I thought it was because it was just overheat and like old component. I thought like just replacing it would resolve the issue. I tried replacing it, but it was still the same. Then I understood, oh, it's probably something like it's still not 100% confirmed. It might be something else, but I stopped charging my phone, my laptop from the car. I don't use any charging in the car. And since then, that issue never came, even if he went to really extremely hot areas. So everything is good to know saving system. That's my hypothesis, not 100% confirmed. Other than that, it's an amazing car. Just a beautiful car, beautiful drive. It is highly recommended if anybody who's interested in a BMW. If you can get a BMW 2011 328 Xi, that is low mileage. You could just go get it like without maintaining. Mine, when I got it, was 78,000 miles, and I got it in 2023 April. It hasn't been 3 years yet, and we are right now the mileage is like 99,500. So far, I had only done like almost 22,000 miles, which was not bad, like for almost 3 years. And the reasoning is because like the first year I had it, I lived in Boston. The first 1.5 year actually. Let's say 2 years, sorry. Yeah, first 1.5 year, yeah, I lived in Boston. And in Boston, I didn't use my car that much. I wouldn't go like to further places as much. Only I would go like snowboarding to New Hampshire, like 2-hour ride one way, and then another 2-hour back. Those kind of weekend trips, or we would go to Acadia, use my car. Just like weekend trips. It was like just a pleasure car. I wasn't commuting, so I did not a lot of miles there. Then when I moved to Philadelphia, as my girlfriend, we were living in Boston. She was working in Boston. I was working for my current malt company in Boston, and she got into Wharton with us. She had to move to Philadelphia because of that, but her school wasn't there actually. And there was a period where my company wanted me to move to and it's like Bay Area to work from the office. And my lease was also ending in Boston. And before I went to Bay Area, there was a time where I lived in Philadelphia for 4 months or so. The 2024 September to December. And in that 4 months, I was driving my car a little bit, not too much, but like a little bit, because my girlfriend lived in more in the city center area, whereas I lived like in the university areas closer to the Rexel. And so sometimes, like in the nighttime, I would drive, park around her place, and then morning go back. We'll figure things out like that. The parking in Philadelphia for me in my area was very easy, but for around her area was a little bit more difficult. But again, I didn't use the car like to commute, so then that many miles. Then I came to California. In California, I was commuting to work. My work was in Santa Clara. I was living in San Francisco. I lived in like 3 different neighborhoods in San Francisco. The first one was in Marina District, but once I moved, it was an Airbnb. I stayed there for a few months, just trying to get a feeling like which part of the city I like, where do I want to live, like, who should I remain, am I going to be by myself? Things were not very clear. I wasn't also very sure how long I'm going to be staying in San Francisco, because I was thinking maybe I should change my job, and then if my girlfriend is in Philly and she's interested in living in New York, maybe we will just live in New York. So maybe I'll just, change companies and move to New York. But I don't, like, it was kind of like intense times. But then my current housemate said his roommate was moving to LA, and his roommate wanted to terminate the lease, so there was a place available for me if I wanted to accept. And then I said, yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. I wasn't very sure how long I would stay in California, but it was because the other person was terminating and they had only another like 6 months or so. I was like, okay, fine, like for another 6 months. I know that I'm gonna be in SF because we also want to see with my girlfriend optics play out, and then I accepted me. And I lived in Design District. It's a little bit south of Soma area and like north of Potrero Field area. It was pretty residential and businessy because there are a lot of like furniture places. That's why it's called Design District. And some houses, like the gentrification buildings, previously it used to be like warehouses and things there. They made them gentrified. It was a very nice place to live, but like wasn't like feeling like very much in the city. It was more residential. I didn't like that part. Whereas Marina was like, where I was living in the Airbnb was pretty close to all the bars, all the restaurants. I really loved that. Like going there on the weekend was because Marina, it's a lot of people on the weekend. You'll get like I love hearing people, just energy. That was great. And after that, we moved to Hayes Valley with the same housemate. And I love Hayes Valley. Hayes Valley is so beautiful. Like it has people, it has like restaurants and all that stuff, but it's not as rowdy as Marina over the weekend. It's more chill, more like fun, but still more kind of elegant. It's pretty nice, and I really like the park on like in Hayes Valley, and it's a beautiful Atisha's Garden. It's a beautiful place. It's an urban park, not crazy, a lot of like green, but like it has like these places where you can like sit and chill and relax. I love that. Whenever I get like food from like outside, I just like go there and like sit there, watch people watch, and sometimes have phone conversations there with my like family, friends. That was the beautiful place. It's like 2 blocks away from my place. I really like that. And yeah, like, so what I was telling about the San Francisco situation is that because my work is in Santa Clara, it was at 15 minutes driving distance, like 80 kilometer, which like 50 miles south of where in San Francisco. And I would go to office 2 days per week. Normally I was supposed to go 3 days per week, but I wouldn't go the 3rd day because the 3rd day they decided that engineering has to come like on Fridays. Fuck it, man. Like I'm not gonna come to office Fridays unless it's required. I mean, it was required at that point, but like nobody was forcing it that much. So I thought I could just get by, and then come to office only 2 days instead of 3, Tuesdays and Thursdays. And the driving back and forth every time it was like 100 miles at least. And so that added some mileage to my car. So last year, in 2025, I think like I did like around like 12,000 miles, which is, or like maybe 10,000 miles, something like that between those two. That's kind of typical for like commuter cars mileage. But imagine before that, like I had the car for 2 years, but I only did what like 10 miles in total, like 4,000, 5,000 miles at most per year. So I wasn't using the car a lot, and it was just for like weekly trips, which is a little bit. If you just have the car because of that, it's a little bit of an expense because you have to pay the taxes of the car. You have to pay for like parking. I was doing street permit parking, but even that, like you have to get an annual street permit parking, and then you have to do like the car's maintenance. So like there's additional costs to just owning the car. There's an additional to get a legal car, in addition to just like the price of the car. Like those kind of things you have to keep in mind. And yeah, but I really like my car. Come back to a summary of it. I shared so many details about a car. I don't know why. It's not that I'm a car enthusiast, but I like driving. I'm not a car enthusiast. I don't go about like, oh, this other car, this car, that car, engine. Oh my god. Oh, I want to get like a Porsche or like a Ferrari. No, not like that. I really like my car. I love driving. Because for me, driving is like, maybe this is an America thing, but like, driving is like freedom. You can go anywhere that you want. Like, if you especially own your car, like, this is it. Like, you can take it anywhere that you want, and like, if you can go to places, like, you're not limited by whatever local transportation is, like, or maybe in the US they're not that great local transportation. So maybe in other countries you still have freedom. In other ways, you don't need to have a car. But in the US, most of the public transportation is not that great. So like, you kind of like, I are a little bit limited in terms of your freedom, where you can go and like do things. So I really like that freedom that owning a car gives you in the US. And I also love just going to natural places, driving, you can see. And in US, at least, like, typically you have to drive to those places. It's not as easy to get to them like public transportation wise. So, and I fucking love road trips, man. I'm on a road trip right now by myself, but I love road trips with friends. Like, your friends like play the music. They choose what the vibe should be. You play like games in the car. The game where you start like saying a word, and then whatever letter it ends with, the other person has to start with that letter for a new word. Things like that. It's just like, yeah, cars are kind of fun to me. And it's sad that, yeah, like, it's contributing, gas is like contributing to global warming and all that. And yeah, maybe I should get an electric car. But even the electric car, the creation of the electric car battery itself, and it causes at the moment like a lot of release of energy consumption that makes global warming as well. So maybe it's more efficient than gas, but like, yeah, I don't know. I want to do better in terms of like global warming and like, making environment better, doing my job as my duty, my responsibility. But at the same time, like, the way I drive cars, like go to road trips and like go the long distances that I go, today
the electric cars are not as good for that yet. Hopefully, on the next 5-10 years, that will change. It's just, yeah, like you have to charge your car. It takes quite significant time, and the distances between the charges are like much shorter than a gas tank. So for me, I think I still need a gas car to go on my like big road trips. Maybe like if I get very wealthy or have the opportunity, that maybe I'll own like 2 cars. One is like the gas car where I go on my long road trips, and then I'll have like the electric vehicle car that's for my daily use, daily commute. And that's it. Now my new job is gonna be in the city, so I'm not gonna commute, and I'm not gonna add more miles to my car, other than like the weekend trips. So I'm pretty happy about that. I didn't like commuting. I mean, driving is fun, but like commuting itself is not as fun because you have to like deal with traffic. I'm I'm fine with traffic, dude. I grew up in Istanbul. Istanbul is like one of the worst traffic in the world, so I'm pretty used to it. I'm patient enough, but it's just like when you go to work and like then you work like already being in traffic and like already driving and like mentally being exhausting is like it's not fun. Yeah, that's why I'm excited to not be driving and working in the city. And from my place, I will either take public transportation or bike. I have the e-bike membership, uh, and my company also provides some uh, like expenses. I can get my like commuting fees like expensed as well to come to the office. So really stoked about that. As you can see, we're like more in the mountain passes, doing like turns and things like that. Yeah, I talked a lot about cars. Thanks for listening. Yeah. Okay, I'll stop this recording right now. Then we'll talk back again later. It's 5 p.m. now. It's getting pretty dark out there because there's also clouds blocking the sun. We are for we here's 3 hour and 30 minutes away from the like Tahoe area, so still have some time to go. Good. All right. See you. Bye. Good day. Yay! We are in Fallon. We have gone through most of the US, like 50, that highway, the loneliest road on the earth. And I mean, it's not a lonely place anymore. Now, like this Fallon town is like pretty big. This is the first decent enough sized town that we had seen since Eli, Nevada. Even Eli was like pretty small, but this is actually like a decent sized town. And there are like lots of casinos here.
I don't know why, and lots of motels. Not sure why. I guess it's Nevada, so casinos are a big deal, big part of the appeals, similar to Las Vegas. Oh, that car, like that big truck, like the way it was coming, I was a little bit scared that it was gonna come to my side. That he didn't see me until the last minute, but then he went to the other side. So, and dude, like his lights are not on. Okay, now his lights are on. Yeah, that car kind of freaked me out a little bit, but you're all good. So now we are gonna keep continuing on Highway 50. We're gonna go towards Carson City, and after Carson City, we're gonna go to South Lake Tahoe. And I'm gonna stay at South Lake Tahoe for one night. Like a very interesting thing happened. I thought like the Tahoe hotels would be pretty expensive, but I found a deal like through my Booking.com Genius discount. I'm at level 3, the highest level, because I book a lot of things from Booking.com, and because of that, I got like lots of discount, and I booked the place for $66 only. That is the lowest price I've paid on this trip for any hotel booking. So I'm pretty happy. Some of it might be because like it's a Wednesday, middle of the week, and past few days it snowed a bit in Tahoe, so maybe people didn't want to come because it was snowing. They didn't want to get stuck in snowstorm and all that, but we got lucky. So I'm pretty happy, pretty hyped up. As you can see, like we're looking at all the, let's slow down a little bit because like there are some cops, probably they're dealing with another thing, you know, like their lights wouldn't be this on if they weren't dealing with another thing. But still, just want to make sure we're all Gucci. They pulled another car before, maybe they were speeding, not sure. But I don't want to get pulled over. I'm trying to obey the speed limits as much as possible. That's how I try to operate. Not always perfect, but I try to. And given that we got pulled over once in Utah, like I don't want another getting pulled over incident on this trip. And yeah, heading to Tahoe. Plan is to snowboard in Heavenly tomorrow. I want to do Heavenly because I've been to Kirkwood, I've been to North Star, the two other Epic Pass resorts in Lake Tahoe, but I haven't done Heavenly yet. And apparently Heavenly, because it's so close to South Lake Tahoe, like where a lot of hotels are, is the one that gets like most crowded. And I'm hoping that because we're gonna go on a Thursday, I'm hoping that like it's not gonna be as crowded. It's the Valentine's Day weekend, so a lot of people are like coming over like on Friday. Hopefully we avoid those crowds and like get to see like Heavenly. The people at Kirkwood like told me that the best resort is, in terms of like experts in ski snowboarding, is Kirkwood itself. It has the most like blacks, but when it's fresh powder, like just Kirkwood is much better. And I loved Kirkwood. Between North Star and Kirkwood, I like Kirkwood better, even though I went on a more icy day to Kirkwood than the day I went to North Star. North Star was pretty fun too. They had like these 1 mile runs that you can like just smash through it if you want to like go like, you know, straight forward, descended. It's not very steep, but it's still a good out. And you also actually can get to see like Lake Tahoe view from one of the peaks and in North Star. It's very little, like you don't get to see it that much, like maybe like 1 minute or 15 seconds you can see it, but it's still really nice, like to be able to see the lake from the top of the mountain.
it's a pretty cool experience. So I had like North Star too, but if I will go again, I will go to Kirkwood. And Kirkwood is also in between the areas, so it's not as close to the highway. You have to go from like a more back route to it if you're coming from SF areas, Bay Area areas, and that one, like I will definitely go back to Kirkwood again as much as possible. Let's see Heavenly tomorrow if it's gonna be better than North Star, or and then yeah, like we'll figure it out. That's the plan. In the nighttime, what I want to do is I want to, once I get to the hotel, I want to chill and watch The Industry. It's a show I've been watching this season. The episodes were mostly good. They're kind of trying to make it a little bit like Succession, like trying to put a lot of crazy stuff in it in the episodes, like pretty dramatic. I feel Succession had done it in a much more natural and like meaningful way. I feel The Industry is like trying to make it too flashy, but it kind of some of it lacks the content and context. But still, like it's a fun show to watch. Some cool sex scenes gets me horny. Not gonna lie. That's my plan. Now that we mentioned about horny, I think like let's talk about horniness in general. I'm overall a horny person. Like I masturbate almost on a daily basis. Am I addicted to it? To some level, addicted to it, which is not great. I could do it less frequently, but it's kind of like for me like a boredom activity, you know, like oh, when you're bored, oh just you know just masturbate and have a good time kind of situation. I wanna have it more in control, but at the same time I have these urges. If I don't like masturbate for a few days, then I just feel like blue balls, and I just get too horny, and then I feel like I have to masturbate. I don't know. Maybe that happens when you masturbate that frequently and you stop for some time. I don't know. That's how I am. But in addition to that, I mean, other than masturbation, I just like have like these interesting horny things in my brain, horny ideas as well. Yeah, maybe this is too much. Maybe this is really too much. But like, my goal is to be as honest as possible with you. Unless you know, I don't know who's ever gonna listen to this, but like, my goal is to be as honest as possible. And because I had been in a relationship for the past 4.5 years, it was a monogamous relationship. I didn't have like a lot of different types of sexual encounters or different kind of fantasies played in. You know, like our sex life was good, decent. Earlier phases of our relationship, amazing. Later, you know, as you grow older in the relationship, as years go by, and like you know, you have each other every day, so like it's not as intense as the first days. That's just a general thing happens to every relationship, you know. Our sex was still pretty good. I enjoyed it, but it was with the same person, right? Like, and I have my style, they have their style, and we know how it works out. Like we have our typical sets of most typical things that we enjoy, so we would do that. There was not a lot of different experimentation later on in the relationship. But now that I'm single, and I'm older, I'm not in college anymore. You know, I have a lot of like things, more maturity. I feel like I want to explore new type of things in terms of sexual experiences. I wanna learn more, and yeah, like I want to experience my sexuality a bit more, and that I don't know how we will make it happen. I mean, there are some apps like these fantasy apps. It's not like just fantasy, but like it's more like kind of hook up horny apps. Like you meet, match people,
It's called Pure, Pure. I started using that after my breakup because I was like, yeah, I'm horny. I'm single now. Now I can try different things out. And it's interesting. Some of the people, like, it is like you match with people and then you can like chat with them and then you can send videos, you can send like photos and things like that. Like pretty explicit content can go around as long as, like, people have mutual consent. Can do sexting. You can, if you want, like, you can meet with them. Whatever you want to do, whatever fantasies you want to play. Whether you're into feet, whether you're into domination, whether you're into, I don't know, pissing, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, like you can find someone that is also interested in whatever you're interested in, and I wanna explore this medium a little bit more. I wanna understand what other people do, what they like, how does it work with like
meters,
other
turn left
people.
to stay on US 50 West. Signs for Carson City.
But yeah, overall, this is some new sexual experiences that I want to try out, and the people I meet through that app, or I mean, I don't know, like other people as well. If I happen to, wow, this one is like
Turn left to stay on US 50 West. Signs for
very
Carson
difficult.
City.
It wasn't a great sign. Like, it was just like very small. Yeah, if I like meet interesting people, cool people, or good people that I think are attractive, things can happen, and I can explore more of all these kind of things. This is one thing I wanted to share, but in addition to that, now that I'm single, I feel like because I separated after like 4.5 years of monogamous relationship, I feel like there's this intense pressure for me right now, like to do things with other people and like try things out, and also force myself to flirt more, or try to you know have a pull-up game, like go to a bar, like talk to girls, like get them interested in me and try it out, or like flirt with them. I feel like I want to get back into the game, because I know eventually I will have to get back into the game, but I have been off the game for so long. I know that I will have to practice a lot, and I feel like this intense pressure on me to try to make this happen. And I know that I should just take my time. I should, relax. I don't think too much about these, but at the same time, I'm a horny motherfucker. So I don't know. Like any attractive person I see, like now I'm like, oh, should I, talk to them and like see, if they're also interested, if I'm interested, or like flirt with them, Yeah, and I don't know, maybe I'm thinking too much. Just like it's a transitional thing, just right after the breakup, being single, I'm pressuring myself too much into thinking of it this way. I feel like I want to, now I have my freedom, let me enjoy it, and kind of going a little bit too much on it. And another thing, maybe it's just a distraction, like from the breakup, right? Like if you have sex with other people, or if you go on maybe a little bit like dates, you feel like, oh, you can get over the other person easier. So I think those are the things that are in play here at the moment. I don't know if it's good or bad, or if it's natural. I just wanted to share that, and I'll try to keep it in control. I don't want to just be too much of a just focused on this and hit on every attractive person I see, or like every girl that I see. I want to be friendly. I want to build like friendships as well, and not just see attractive people as like, oh, like source of sex, source of explicit stuff. I'll try to keep this in mind. I don't want to be this term we have in Turkish. It's called salak. which means like pussy stupid. It's basically like people who just like whenever they see it like attractive people. This is mostly for hetero guys, where like whenever they see girls and they find them pretty, they always just like be very dumb and like just try to fully hit on them and like forget everything else, and they just like do whatever needs to be done in order to get laid and like forget every other aspect of life and all their principles. That's what we call amsalak. You can convert it to be as like pussy dumb. So I don't want to be in that situation. I want it to be, more elegant, balanced, smooth. I want to have these sexual encounters. I want to like experience more. I want to try out different things. I want to be open-minded, but I don't want to be too relentless on it and pressure myself too much into it. Yeah, interesting topics. Is that I was thinking of posting all these things to YouTube for people to have access, but I don't know, like with all the sexually explicit content that we are talking about, I don't know like how that's gonna work out. Like what are the policies? Do they allow posting this kind of stuff? And then another thing I remembered is that like when you post on YouTube, there's like some songs that's being played, then they do some check and then they can identify if there's like anything that needs copyright purchases, and then they'll take down your video if you haven't bought their purchases, something like that. I had encountered that before, and I was just playing like Guns N' Roses songs in the car right before the video started. So I hope like all these things, still work out fine, and I can post these in some medium where people can access it. Doesn't have to be YouTube. My goal is not to be a vlogger, and my goal is not to, just like make a living out of this. I just want to be able to share these with my friends, with my family, whoever is interested in watching it. And yeah, like I'll try to find some medium to make that happen. Cool. We can also see some stars. It's actually still pretty good. Like the number of stars that you can see. I didn't expect that. I expected it to be less, but I guess we're still in remote areas. On our way to South Lake Tahoe. How much time do we have until then? Okay, let's see. 1 hour 23 minutes. Okay, that's not bad. Maybe I'll have dinner, maybe not. I don't know. I'm not like feeling very hungry. The lunch, like the food it was a lot of food. And the past couple days, like from all the traveling, I hadn't been eating multiple meals in a day. I had just been eating like breakfast and then like some snacks and then like a dinner, or like lunch and some snacks for dinner. So I didn't have like both lunch and dinner in a while. Not sure if I'll have it today as well, but let's see. We have been driving a lot today, lots of driving today. And our car's mileage is getting closer to 100,000 miles. So we're gonna celebrate my car's 100,000 miles and on this trip. I think that will be my car is alive and like has some personality. I think that they will be enjoying this. They'll be like, oh yeah, like 100,000 miles birthday, and I've been traveling a lot. I've been enjoying myself with great views. Yeah, it was tiring, but having a great time. I think that's what my car would have said. I think my car also likes to travel as much as I like to travel. Yeah, we still don't have a great name for my car. My girlfriends, friends of one of my friends, like they had named it Cardi BMW. Cardi B. It's like Cardi, but like car. Like CAR. It's a car. Like Cardi BMW. I like that name. It's a cool name. But my car is definitely not a rapper. My car is more of a rocker or like a Turkish depressive music, which is what I was listening to a little bit before. I was listening to Ahmet Kaya. He's a very big artist in Turkey. He used to make a lot of like sad songs, and he's Kurdish, and he was politically active, and government exiled him. Some stories behind that. Well, if we ever get to that, like we'll discuss those later. But I just want unity for everybody. And like a beauty pageant, I want to save the world. I want peace. I want unity. I want to save the seals. The seals are very lonely. Yeah, but yeah, it's something like the situation of Kurds in Turkey is something that I get asked a lot from people in US, because people see headlines and like this has been talked about, and I have some views. I'll share them. My views are more from the objective side, according to me. And I support. I understand. Again, like both sides have some things, but I think overall I support like Kurdish people having more freedom in terms of like not land sovereignty, but like I think they should be able to like practice their language, and they should be able to get support for their communities. Same like right, like in US, I want like people to be able to speak their own language as much as possible, and also still learn the main language of the country, and like have a melting pot instead of isolation, like, oh, this chunk of land we want to separate. But yeah, like it's difficult. People have been pressurized for a long time and like kept on the chains, so there's a lot of historical resentment. I get it. I hope we can build a better peaceful future together with all the groups associated. Yeah, we'll talk about that more later maybe. For now, I'm gonna stop recording, and I'm gonna say, don't be too horny. Be good horny. that's you can use that good. All right, see you guys. The same lads, everybody knows. Bye. Hi, we're at the $66 hotel. Dude, it's been a blast. I don't know how I got this discount. It's amazing here. They gave complimentary drink. I got a free beer, and they have hot tub, because majority of the like ski resorts and all these things, hotels like to have a hot tub, because you get like cold, and then you go into the hot tub after you ski snowboard all day, like feeling that cold, and then you go into the hot tub, and like everybody has a great time feeling that warm. So I checked in like 9:30, and then the hot tub was open until 10 p.m. So I went to the hot tub. I grabbed the free beer. When I showed up there, I went in. It was very warm, and then suddenly it started to snow, very little, like very softly. And it started a little bit more, but like still softly. It was like the snow was like dropping one bit at a time. And I had in front of me like the pines on top of the hot tub, like beautiful green, and like looking at the sky, the pines, the falling snow, drinking a beer, and like being in a warm hot tub. Like that was fucking amazing. I had a great experience. The reception person also was like very helpful. She was very nice, and after my hot tub session, I chilled a little bit in the lobby, drank some hot chocolate. They had these very weird cups that you fold to make a cup. It looks as if like it's Asian rice cup holder, like rice holder kind of packaging, but then you make it like fold and then it becomes like a cup that you can sip. I didn't like it at all. It was like, first, it took a lot of effort to fold it. It wasn't that easy to understand. It wasn't labeled that well. Like they had some text on it, but they didn't have like good coloring on it. It was easy to mix. Plus, it didn't have good insulation. So the thing was pretty hot. I needed like an extra regular cup to hold it, and this is supposed to be eco-friendly. And because I'm using the other cup, it's no longer eco-friendly. But anyways, drank my hot chocolate, chilled at the hotel for some time, called my uncle, wished him happy birthday, looked into some of like the stuff for tomorrow, how to rent, where to rent, and dude, like this hotel is also pretty close to the gondola that takes you up to the mountain, so it's such a fucking good deal. I'm so happy. Today was a lot of driving. We crossed from Utah, we crossed Nevada, and then we came to California. Almost like 8.5 hours of drive. A lot of driving today. That was fun. It was a good day. I actually talked with a few friends. I talked with my friend John. It's not American John, it's Turkish John, C-A-N. He lives in Germany. We talked about my life, his life, and all that stuff. And, I talked with Jeremy, my good friend in Boston. He's a great guy. I like him a lot. He's always very supportive, and he knows me very well. And we talked about my breakup and things like that in detail. He was listening to me a lot and like being very supportive. I appreciated, having good friends who was there for me. I think I'm pretty lucky to have that. I have a good network of like friends and family members mostly. So pretty lucky, pretty privileged, and also some of it is like you make it, right? Like you put the effort into your friends and then your friends give you back. Like if you just expect everybody to be there for you all the time where you don't give in, that's not gonna fly. Like it's like relationships are mutual. Like it goes both ways. You have to put in effort to get something out of it. So yeah, that's what I would say. Like any kind of relationship that you have with your partner, with your family, with your friends, just care for them and like try to do the best for them, and they will do the same for you. And as long as you are genuine and like you want to support them. But pretty hype, man. Tomorrow we're gonna ski. Let's see if we stay here one night or 2 nights. Like maybe depends on how I feel. Maybe I'll stay tomorrow night as well if I really like this skiing, because it snowed a little bit past couple of days, so maybe the quality is really good. But if it's still icy, maybe we'll just go home tomorrow night. And home is 4.5 hour drive away now. Pretty close compared to where we were before. Yeah, I mean, I almost went to Colorado border, almost like to the Grand Junction for the Canyonlands National Park. So I've crossed probably like distance-wise left to right, like almost 1/3 of like US. Yeah, so pretty stoked about that. Maybe not 1/3, but like more than 25% for sure. Yeah, let's make it happen, man. I'm probably gonna do my routine now, set up my charging and all that stuff. Didn't have proper dinner, so probably gonna eat some snack bars. And yeah, I'm gonna have to figure out what do I do in the weekend, because now that I will be back in San Francisco on Friday night, worst case, I have some time for like Saturday, Sunday events, and Saturday is Valentine's Day. I'll have to see what's the move, what's happening for Valentine's Day. Alright, see you guys.